Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you with me for the first time, my name is Melissa Reed and I'm a mixed media artist from Pennsylvania. So in front of me today you see a compass with a pencil and an 8" by 8" cradled board. Now I got these raw wood and I went ahead and gessoed those with some Liquitex gesso. Everything that I used in this video are going to be listed in the description. That is the gesso there. I will have links where I can, but everything will be listed whether there is a link or not. So I went ahead and got that gessoed, and then I took my ruler there and I found the middle. So what I'm envisioning for this piece is another one of my sphere pieces, and if you've been with me for a while, you've definitely seen some of those. In my end cards at the end of the video, I will put another video of me making one or two of those if you are interested. So what I'm doing here, I found center and then I dropped the point of the compass to just where the pencil was going to touch just above that, because I didn't want it to be, I wanted it to be centered but low centered, because I wanted to have a little bit of space on either the top or bottom. Not sure yet. Everything is going to be totally in flux, because as you know, I am an intuitive artist, and for me that kind of just means either starting with no idea or a very basic one like the sphere, and each step kind of informs me of the next. I don't plan it out, I just do what feels like should be done in the next step. So I was feeling the red paint there. This is Liquitex Primary Red, and I am painting the entire outside area of that circle in the primary red. Still don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing on the inside. I did kind of have an inkling at this point that I wanted to use numbers somehow in this piece. I'm not exactly sure at this point what they're going to look like, but you saw the thumbnail, so you did see the end piece, and I will show you here how I got there if you just stick with me. Okay, so I decided I wanted to use a little bit of an olivey green, and my favorite way to mix an olive is with a black and a yellow. So that is Liquitex Primary Yellow and Liquitex Mars Black, and that makes a really pretty olive green, as you can see there. Now I am just going through and carefully kind of trying to stay within the lines there as much as possible. Although because this paint is wet and the paint underneath is dry, you can see there I just swiped with my finger, and you can clean some of that off if you do it right away before anything has a chance to dry. So I wanted to have the brush strokes going in various directions because, again, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with this, but I know I want it to feel kind of rustic and sketchy, if you know what I mean. So there are a few different ways that I end up doing that in this piece, but this first step is basically just getting all of that olive down until I'm happy with the way it looks. Once I get the first layer down, I decide to go over some of the areas. I mixed a little bit more of the paint, and I also decided to then start mixing the colors directly on the board because they're wet, and I could get those brush strokes in there that I wanted to see while still getting, I'm going to call this shading. It's not really. Anybody who is actually aware of what shading is will attest to that, but I'm doing like a rough kind of, excuse me, shading type thing on there just to get some variation in colors and give it a tiny bit of dimension. Then I decided to go in with a couple different colors of pink. I'll have those listed. I think it was rose pink and light pink, both in Liquitex. I believe that's what those were. And this pretty much all ends up getting covered up, but for now I just wanted to have a little bit of like variation and some differences in colors. So I put in that's bright aqua green that I'm going in there with too. And you can see that as soon as I lay the paint down, I'm spraying it with my water bottle to then put the towel on it and get some texture. Again, I end up not really liking where this was going, so I do end up painting over this all at the end, but you can still kind of see some of it underneath, so it wasn't time wasted as far as I'm concerned. Um, Decided to add a little bit of warmth, so I'm going in with a little more of that primary yellow there, and again, just repeating that steps with laying down the paint and spraying the water. And I went ahead and let all of that dry and decided to go in and add even a little bit more lightness. Now, there is a method to my madness and reason for what I'm doing here. Um, I want that sphere in the middle to be light enough so that some lighter gel printed things are going to be able to be seen. And I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute here. I decided how I wanted to use the numbers, and what I'm doing is I have, for some reason, I found these like lists of like columns of numbers, which you can see there. I printed that up on my laser printer and transferred that to the gel plate. And if you're interested in that process, I will put that card at the end of my video as well for you to check out. I know a lot of you have probably already seen it. And before everybody comes at me in the comments, this only works if you've got pigment-based pigment-based ink. If for your printer, I will link the printer and the ink that I use for you, but just be aware that it does not work with all inkjets. It happens to work with mine, and hopefully it will work with yours too. But I went ahead and gel printed those numbers. I didn't include that in here because it was just going to make the video too long, and I do have another whole video on it. But when I printed it, I lifted it with the matte gel medium. So because that is printer ink, that's going to bleed a little bit. But because I lifted it with the matte medium, that stabilizes it, and therefore it won't bleed when I do more work on top of it. So I'm just randomly tearing these columns and rows of numbers and placing them down. I'm not going to cover every single speck. I'm going to leave some of it blank. I'm also overlapping some of them in areas. I just really was feeling using numbers today, so that's what we got going here. And again, laying that down with matte gel medium, I can't remember if I mentioned that or not, but that is what I always use as my, for the most part, what I use for my glue in all of my collages. Now, I started doing that when the paint was still a little bit wet, as you can probably see on my brush, but that actually worked out to my benefit because then I got some of that paint on the top of those number sheets. Now, they're mostly transparent because I used tissue paper and the matte medium to pick them up, but I did get a little bit of that color deposited from the brush on top of there, so it gives the illusion of being even more transparent. So I was really liking where that was going, except for that area around the circle. I didn't like it at all, and it was really bugging me. So I have some golden, I believe those are fluid acrylics there, and that is Alizarin Crimson. And that really warmed up the outside of it and also darkened it, which was what was bugging me about it. It was way too bright and just, I don't know. I didn't love the decision I made to add all those other colors in, although once I do get them covered up, like you can see on the right hand side there where that was blue, it just added a little bit of dimension, so I am pleased with how it turned out. But I'm very happy once I get the whole thing covered up again. And I'm going to end up going back and forth around the whole thing with the Alizarin Crimson, and I'm also going to be using some Rowney Indigo acrylic ink, and I believe Paynes Gray, and that'll be coming up here in a minute. Again, I'll have all of these things listed for you. And the reason for using those is just, again, I decided I wanted that to be a little darker and deeper and have a little more feeling to it, if you catch my drift. So yeah, that what I just put down there was some Paynes Gray acrylic ink that I had watered down. So I'm mixing that as well as some of that indigo acrylic ink, and it's just giving it a nice, warm, darker feel. And it takes me a few minutes to get that to where I want it to be, so I'll just let you watch me finish that. And as I'm working on this, I'm trying to think a little bit about what the next step is going to be, and I decided I wanted to carry the numbers through onto the red somehow, but I'm not exactly sure how at this point. Now that red is obviously much darker, and the numbers that I have printed there aren't going to be able to be seen as well. So that's something that I kind of mull over for a little bit, and I'll show you what I chose to do there. But in the meantime, I'm going in with some fluorescent orange in the Liquitex fluorescent orange, and I'm painting around the whole sphere. And what this is going to do is give like a little bit of an ethereal glow, like it's kind of glowing from behind. I tend to do that with all of my spheres. They're roughly planetary in nature, or like some kind of space body, something like that. And so I like to have the glow behind them. I don't know, it's just my personal preference. And if you put a color like the fluorescent orange or maybe like a yellow, something warm and bright back there, you're going to be able to achieve that kind of glow. All right, so at this point, with the glowing sphere, I decided that's kind of what I was going to do with the numbers, but instead of gel printing them, I'm going in with some stamps that are a little bit smaller but similar in size to those numbers that I already have on there. I mixed some of the fluorescent orange that I used around the sphere with some matte gel medium. So my thought on that was I want some of these to be very transparent, almost invisible, but you can still kind of see them. And some of the other ones I'm dipping directly into the fluorescent orange. So it's giving like a nice variety on the board there when I have all of those down together. Once I get all of these numbers down, my thoughts on finishing it. I've had a phrase in my head the whole time I was doing this, and this happens to me sometimes when I'm making art, and the phrase is so long. So normally what I would do is do some of my ransom note style lettering, but I tried that and I wanted to use the fluorescent orange and it just wasn't showing up the way that I wanted it to. I did try it and like you just couldn't see it enough, so I decided to kind of fake it a little bit. So I just went ahead and took those stamps, like the number stamps that I was using. It came in a set and there were letters. So I kind of faked the ransom note style letters and I stamped those into the fluorescent orange onto pieces of tissue paper. And then I'm going to just go ahead and glue those down with some of my matte medium. It does a good enough job to get the point across. Now, right now, you can't make out what it says because they're still wet and they've got like all of that medium on them. But when it's fully dry, I still wasn't quite happy with it. So I am going to go in with a Micron pen here and just outline it just a tiny little bit. And I decided to do a really sketchy outline because, you know, why not? I was just feeling it in the moment and that's what I went with. So once that is all outlined, I am going to take that Micron and I'm going to go around the whole entire perimeter of that sphere. And I started out doing just a really neat outline, and it's not super dark, but you can see it better in person than you can on the screen here. But once that's done, I decided to do a little bit of a more sketchy kind of outline with that. You can see me doing here, and I'm going back and forth and over the entire perimeter. And I'm going to show you what this looks like finished in just a second. And here's what it looks like all done. I'll probably hit that with a coat of either varnish or Krylon triple thick acrylic spray, some sort of finishing, but that's essentially what it looks like. You'll have to let me know what you think. I'm pretty pleased with the way it turned out. I like the addition of the numbers. I like the feel of it. I like the colors together. It all just kind of works. But again, let me know what you think. And this piece will be available in my Etsy shop. I'm going to have a link for that and all of my other social media in the description of this. Plus, I flashed it on the screen there for you for a second. Also, thank you so much for everyone who has been subscribing and liking and hyping. Really appreciate it. And if you liked this one, I'll ask you to go ahead and do that again if you don't mind. It is super helpful to my channel. But thank you all so much, and I look forward to seeing you back here again next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time for another mixed media video. Take care and have a great week.